just turned off and went with a different. Can you see me on the camera now? I suppose.
I see nothing. It still shows that you're going to go live, but it's not.
Now I'm live.
It says live now. Okay. It says live now, but I don't see you.
Well, it's just you and I. So it's
well,
not.
Still, I should still see your video.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm trying to.
And now I can't. Phooey, worked up. Watch live video. Okay, now I see it.
Okay, well, I'll go to live then. Thank you.
There you go. So it's recurring, so do your thing.
I will. Thank you. So, I apologize to everybody for the glitches in the feed tonight. I know I'm late here, and thank you, Susan, for being my technical expert and helping me out with my kickoff call for our Working Professional Elites Facebook group. And the reason of the call tonight, it's not going to be as long as the weekly trainings that I have coming up in the future, but I just wanted to kind of go over what the group is all about. I know I did go over that in the welcome video and things of that nature. And I just wanted to go through like the overall vision of the group. And just to tell you a little bit about my story is a long time ago, not a long time ago, but a little bit ago, when I was in business school, a couple of years after I finished college, I really had a dream as I made my final presentation for our business that we were setting up. We actually had a nonprofit entity. And for those of you that don't know what that is, that's like your churches, schools, hospitals, anything of that nature. This was actually a psychiatry center, nonprofit entity that wanted to set up a for-profit business. And we had to go through about it's roughly a 6-week doing everything just to figure out if this would actually work for this psychiatric place. And I was the one in charge of the presentations, but I just loved how the inner workings of even that nonprofit, it was a smaller center, but even how that ran. And I just knew at that point in time I wanted to be a part of the inner workings of a corporation. And that was just my goal after I got done with business school. To tell you, honestly, it didn't work out. I don't know if you know, but as far as from a mental health perspective, there's just not a lot of money in it. We don't, the reimbursements aren't very well. And as a matter of fact, we don't really focus on it. I don't believe enough. My dad's a veteran and PTSD, and this is a complete sidebar, but I don't think we take very good care of our mentally ill in this country. That's a personal view, but let's go on next. It relates to the fact of what I wanted to be from a corporate perspective. And I started with a Fortune 100 company, worked through the sales organization, and then I transitioned into corporate and really was climbing the ladder great, actually successfully, and realized that, getting to be that VP or president of a corporation, even though it seemed exciting and I loved coaching and things of that nature, the inner workings and really finding out what it was all about wasn't coming to fruition like I thought. As a matter of fact, I was losing myself, just who I was really. The relationships with my children were fading. There was a lot of toxicity in the house. Just overall, what things you have to do to climb that corporate ladder, and I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to be disingenuous and things of that nature. And that's not how it is all the time, but you do notice it a little bit. But all of these things also were taking away my freedoms and taking away my ability to make the decisions that I wanted to set up that legacy and have that life that you always dreamed that climbing the corporate ladder would give you. So I knew I had to make some changes, and I had to make some changes pretty quick based on the three number one people in my life were my 3 children, and I just didn't see what I was learning, how I was conducting myself, what I was doing wasn't in line with what I wanted for them. I didn't want to show them to really give up everything, including some of your values, for a company that would replace you tomorrow. They would replace me now. You're a number to them. You're replaceable. Even though the people you work with may be really good people, overall the company and things, it's their business. They're a large business, a mega business, a multi-billion cap business, And for them, it's about the shareholders, and that's fine. I believe in business rights and business, but just the way that was going, I had to get out based on how it was impacting my life. So jump forward a couple of years since I've realized that, and the changes that I've made around my life. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. And the reason that I started the Working Professional Elites Facebook group is I know that I'm not alone as it relates to being in that position where you're kind of stuck. You almost have those golden handcuffs of you got a decent paying job, you're climbing the ladder, you're doing what you got to do, you're supporting your family the way you are, but it just isn't sitting right with you. And for me, it was that, if I wanted to be who I truly am and stand by what I truly believe and teach my children and impact the world the way that I truly believe I was put on this earth to do, then the change was I got to figure out how I can do that inside of what I believe, inside of what would be flexible with my family, get my mind back right, and just overall things that would really help me not only provide for my family and especially my children, but to show them what it truly was to get back to where I really wanted to be. And so the Working Professional Elites Facebook group's main vision is to help other working professionals that are in a similar spot and to break free from that corporate grind, is what I say, and really find themselves and reclaim their life, their independence. And really there are four main areas of focus that at least I noticed with myself. But then after looking at other people's stories, I realized the main points of focus that I really want to help as it relates to these live trainings, discussions with people, and if folks want to get on the call and they know specifically they have one area of focus they want to discuss, talk about what I'm doing as it relates to my life, we can do that right away. But the four areas of focus are right behind me, and that basically is I want to talk about the mind. You got to have your mind right, and that relates to learnings, really broadening your experiences, broadening your values into what you really want to do with your life, and learning about it and setting aside that time to pause the race with being that working professional and being in that corporation, and really focusing on yourself and how to make yourself better. And that can be with spiritual, that can be with meditation, that can be with just learning, that can honestly be with anything really. So just really focusing on getting your mind right. Secondly, your body. This is where I truly believe is, to me, these two combined, the mind and body, I kind of split them apart because really, if you have a good mind, it makes you feel better about your body, but you also have to be healthy. So for me, focusing on overall health from a perspective of not just eating right or making sure you take care of yourself, but also from a sleep perspective as it relates to just what you put in your body, just ensuring that overall mind and body is good, connected, because if you don't have those two things, you can't spread any happiness or anything of your message to anybody else. Relationships is a big one that I also like to focus on. If your relationships aren't right in your life, that's a tough one. It's hard to be alone. Being alone there's some power to that, but in the same sense, you have people that count on you and people that you truly want to share your gifts with, and that's why you definitely have to ensure those relationships are right. So that's another place we focus on, and that'll be some of the trainings. And the last is financial. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it can sure rent it for a while. That's a saying that one of my buddies said when I first came into corporate with that, and I just laughed at. But he's preacher's son, and we talked a lot about the love of money and how that's not right, or the worship of money is not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about financially is if you believe that money is the root of all evil, I believe you should probably go back and really define what you truly mean by that, because that's how I grew up. I grew up in a Roman Catholic household. That's what my parents beat over us. Mom and Dad didn't go to college. We always were in the church doing things and giving our time and tithing, but just never were able to do much more than what we had in our family. We're never able really to exponentiate that, right? What I mean by the financial side is getting your finances right, so you not only can have the gifts for your family and just a decent life to where I don't like to struggle, but not way above your means, but You want to be able to provide for your family, but outside of that, it takes money to build churches. There's a reason they ask for a collection every time you go to Mass. There's a reason that, when my son went down to the middle America, Guatemala, to do one of his mission trips, you pay a lot of money for them to go do that so they can go help folks. Like, money helps the needy as well. Money helps the people that we need to help with what we're doing as it relates to no, thanks. Yeah, Susan is commenting there, but I mean, that's what I believe. So when I'm talking about financial, it's making sure that you're responsible from the financial side, making sure that what you want from a financial perspective, we can talk about on how to achieve that. So when you take a look at the 4 areas of focus I have, and I call this achieving your best life, we're going to talk about all these things. And like I said, there's in the link on my welcome video, there's a one-on-one booking call. If you want to talk right away, my calendar's up to date. Go ahead and schedule that. But this is what we're going to focus on in the Working Professional Elite Facebook group, really to help other working professionals, such as I used to be, reclaim their life and reclaim their independence. And that's really my cry, my war cry for the day. And that's what we're going to focus on. So each week, we are going to have those trainings. And then we're going to have a daily motivational post that's going to go in there. We're going to talk about member requests as well. I mean, I know we have the 4 areas, but if there's something you really have an itch with, you want me to address in our weekly trainings, I will do that as well. But overall, the purpose of this call was to welcome you, to say thank you so much for being a part of this. I'm super excited. I believe that with the power of those that are driven to reclaim their life, reclaim their independence, make themselves right to achieve their best life, when you get a group like that together, it's a mastermind. You just the things you can do are limitless. It's the possibilities are endless. There's a ton of outside the box thinking, and I hope to learn from you as much as I hope to give to you in your pursuit of your goals, happiness, and overall just best life. So if there's anything else you need in the meantime, always go ahead, drop a comment, hit me up on Messenger. I will be available. But other than that, I look forward to these weekly trainings. I look forward to interacting with you as time goes on. And let's go get this. I believe that anything is possible when you put your mind to it, when you are willing to learn, when you're willing to fail fast and fail forward, but when you're also willing to help others. And so that's what I'm hoping, and I know that's going to happen with this group is, I don't know everything, but I can tell you one thing. I've been through it, and so I'm looking to help you all with that, but I'm looking to learn the same amount. So thank you so much for this, and I'm just going to check the comments before we go. Okay, the topic of next week, what we're going to start with is we're going to start on the physical side of things. I just really want to, with the first of the year coming up, I knew that this is probably going to be on a lot of people's minds. And as far as it relates to New Year's resolutions, I don't mind them. I used to have them all the time. It really worked for my seatbelt back in the day when seatbelts were kind of a big deal, but they started creating those laws. I had to make that New Year's resolution for me. And also I had a young family at the time, and I always strapped them in, but didn't strap myself. But I know this is on people's minds. A lot of times when it comes to the first of the year, as a matter of fact, the fitness industry makes billions, and most of it from about January through May. So it's going to be physical next week. So I appreciate that question. Yeah, it is a small world. You did that mission trip to Guatemala. That's awesome. And you know what? One day I'm probably going to also have my son interview him potentially on that when we talk about why he went down there and what he's seen, because I think when you bring the perspective from others, and Susan, we can talk to you about that as well, but I think it just helps us with a more well-rounded approach. So next week we'll talk about the physical, and then after that it will be relationships, after that followed by the mindset, and then financial will be the fourth one in the month. So any other questions, let me know. But other than that, I appreciate you being on. Thank you so much, and I look forward to this group. Have a good rest of your week. Bye-bye.